Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is I, Bad Billy, from Twin Falls, Idaho, host of Outlaw Radio. And definitely have something that I'd like to talk a little bit about. Before I get to that, I want to remind you to check out my website. Go to outlawradioabs.com. That's Outlaw Radio Alpha Bravo Sierra.com. Yes, and click on the store section here where you can get t-shirts, get a face diaper if you want, tank tops, hats, beanies. Click on this banner here, Caravan to Midnight. Yes, and this product here, New Eden, it's nutrition that I take every day. I take it with a little bit of yogurt every morning, and I can't begin to tell you how much better I feel since I started it. We also have the Scalar Energy Pendant, extra cell phone antenna, the Berkey water filtration system. We got books. Also, if you click on this banner here for My Pillow, and you shop My Pillow, I know some of you whose politics are on the left are going to completely avoid this, and that's fine. However, with Christmas coming up, I mean, there's some great Christmas gift ideas, And so click on this banner, shop My Pillow, and use the code OUTLAW to save up to 66% on your order. We also have My Patriot Supply, so click on this banner here. So when the shit hits the fan and you're not prepared, well, I don't know what to say. So make sure you're not in that situation and get yourself some buckets of food that have a 25-year shelf life. Also, another water filtration system here, the Alexa Pro, that's available. Just click on this banner here. Also, new affiliation, We the People holsters. Yes, so unfortunately, I don't have one of these holsters because I don't have one of these types of guns that these holsters will fit, but that may change in the future. But click on this banner here and shop We the People holsters, and they're always having some kind of sale every week. Also, we got Cranked Up Coffee. We got Serato and Grindhouse Brew at $7.50 per pound plus $3.50 shipping and handling. But if you get 4 pounds or more, the shipping is free. So yes, that's all at my store. Go to, again, my website, outlawradioabs.com, Outlaw Radio Alpha Bravo Sierra.com. Yes. So let me switch back to the webcam here. All right. So, a little over a month ago, there was that incident where Alec Baldwin, where he says he didn't pull the trigger, and we're going to listen to part of his bullshit interview with George Stephanopoulos, or however you pronounce his name. Yeah, he didn't pull the trigger and all that, but, when I first heard this story, I wasn't sure what kind of weapon was involved. Now really didn't give that part much thought. Now that I know that it was a Western, and they used old models, of course, that were only used in the Old West, like this one. That I'll be going over some steps on, and debunk some of his bullshit, because there's so many holes in his story. So let's listen to about 4 minutes of that interview with George Stephanopoulos here. Give me just a moment. Get everything switched over.
The scene is the two guys are there who have got me, cornered, and they think I'm shot pretty bad, and I'm kind of wilting, and they have a gun, and then the sound outside distracts them, and I then draw the gun, cross-draw out of my holster, pull the gun up like that, and start to cock the pistol, cut. I'm handed a gun, and someone declares, they said, "This is a cold gun."
Dave Halls?
The first AD. In my years on the sets of film, hot gun meant that there was a charge in there, and cold gun meant there was nothing in there. When he's saying this is a cold gun, what he's saying to everybody on the set is, you can relax. The gun is empty.
That's what cold gun means.
Well, cold gun means there's no charge in there. There could be dummy rounds.
A dummy round looks like a real bullet, but is completely inert. It contains no explosive charge.
And you were rehearsing that scene. Was it an actual rehearsal? There's some disagreement about that, whether it was a formal rehearsal at that time.
This is a marking rehearsal where I'm going to show her. She's standing next to the camera. She's like this. You're me. She's got a monitor here. The camera is here filming that way. She takes a monitor that is his monitor, the operator, and turns it toward her. It swivels, and she says to me, hold the gun lower. Go to your right. Okay, right there. All right, do that. Now, show it a little bit lower. And she's getting me to position the gun. Everything is in her direction. She's guiding me through how she wants me to hold the gun for this angle. And I draw the gun out, and I find a mark. I draw the gun out, I find a cut. And what's really urgent is the gun wasn't meant to be fired in that angle.
So if you're shooting directly into the camera lens, you're not aiming?
I'm not shooting into the camera lens. I'm shooting just off.
Just off?
Right, in her direction. I'm holding the gun where she told me to hold it, which ended up being aimed right in below her armpit, was what I was told, I don't know. This was a completely incidental shot, an angle that may not have ended up in the film at all. But we kept doing this, and so then I said to her, now in this scene, I'm gonna cock the gun. And I said, do you want to see that? And she said, yes. So I take the gun and I start to cock the gun. I'm not going to pull the trigger. I said, do you see that? She goes, well, just cheat it down and tilt it down a little bit like that. And I cock the gun. I go, can you see that? Can you see that? Can you see that? And she says, and then I let go of the hammer of the gun and the gun goes off. I let go of the hammer of the gun and the gun goes off.
At the moment, the decisive
That was the moment the gun went off, yeah. That was the moment the gun went off.
It wasn't in the script for the trigger to be pulled.
Well, the trigger wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger.
So you never pulled the trigger?
No. I would never point a gun at anyone and pull a trigger at them, never. Never. That was the training that I had. You don't point a gun at me and pull the trigger. On day one of my instruction in this business, people said to me, never take a gun and go click, 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 because even though it's incremental, you damage the firing pin on the gun if you do that. Don't do that.
And Hall's attorney told ABC News that he was watching and agrees that Alec did not pull the trigger and that his finger was outside the trigger guard.
So you have this Colt 45, you just pulled?
The hammer as far back as I could without cocking the actual
And you're
gun.
holding onto the hammer?
I'm holding that. I'm just showing. I go, how about that? Does that work? Do you see that? Do you see that? Do you see that? She goes, yeah, that's good. I let go of the hammer. Bang, the gun goes off. Everyone is horrified. They're shocked. It's loud. They don't have their earplugs in. No one was. The gun was supposed to be empty. I was told I was handed an empty gun. If there were cosmetic rounds, nothing with a charge at all, a flash round, nothing. She goes down. I thought to myself, did she faint? The notion that there was a live round in that gun did not dawn on me till probably 45 minutes to an hour later.
45 minutes to an hour?
Well, she's laying there and I go, did she get hit by wadding? Was there a blank? Sometimes those blank rounds have a wadding inside that packs, it's like a cloth that packs the gunpowder. And sometimes wadding comes out and can hit people and it can feel like a little bit of a poke. But no one could understand, did she have a heart attack? Because remember, the idea that someone put a live bullet in the gun was not even in reality.
Did you go up to her? Did you back away?
I went up to her, and then we were told to get out of the building. We were forced to get out of the building. The medics came in. I mean, I stood over her for 60 seconds, and she just lay there kind of in shock.
Was she conscious?
My recollection is yes.
Okay, let's get the camera back on. All right. Something does not make sense now. Like I said, I have one of these models here. Of course, this isn't quite the Colt 45. This was the last present from my late grandfather. Before he passed, he wanted to make sure I had a decent weapon, and I've always liked these revolvers. So he got me this 357. Now this is a Cimarron model, which is more modeled towards the old Colt guns. You know, because if you have a Ruger and you cock the hammer, it only cocks twice. This one, actually cocks 3 times. My model, see. Yeah. A real Colt would actually click 4 times. Spelling COLT is what it's supposed to be there. Now, the first hole in Mr. Baldwin's bullshit. So he cocked the hammer and released the hammer, and the gun went off. Now, that is possible, but see, like this here, that is fully cocked. Of course, yeah, I got my finger on the trigger right there. I'll take it near the trigger guard. And yeah, back here now, if I'm going to fire the gun, I got to have my finger on the trigger. So, and he's saying he cocked the hammer and it went off, but the hammer locks right there until you pull the trigger. So, you know, unless it was a short one like this, which I don't think will set off a round, it's not going to generate enough power to set off a round. So, you know, and the way you load these guns too is obviously here. You have a little gate. You have to cock it to the first click, and then, you know, and then of course same to unload it is you got to push this little lever back here, you know, and just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds is what this gun will hold. So you had to have pulled the trigger. The story does not make any sense. Was it an accident? Very well, I could possibly. You know, I mean, I don't think Alec Baldwin is the type that will blatantly commit murder. However, he is one of these crazy leftists that's all about gun control. And now, you know, it's basically he's saying he cocked the hammer and the hammer released and it set off the round. Does not make any sense whatsoever. None whatsoever. So what's next now? You know, you got these crazy anti-gun fanatics that are all about gun control and say, "Oh yes, you see that? Guns do kill people." Which nobody's going to buy that bullshit. So I don't know, was this person who was accidentally killed, Helena Hutchins, was I don't know anything about her or whatever. Was she a martyr so we can get the gun control movement going and you know, start with the AR-15s and then eventually work our way up to these kind of models, which are very, very seldomly used in any homicide? You know, could it be that? No, that's a very crazy conspiracy theory, and I'm going to say no. But now well, just watch what happens next. Is these idiot leftists are going to be, you see, guns do kill people. People don't kill people. Guns do kill people. Blah 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 blah. That's what's coming up next. As for Mr. Baldwin himself, listen to me, you stupid cocksucker. Well, odds are you're probably not going to watch this video, but I'm going to address you anyway. You need to get your story straight. You know, a lot of people aren't going to believe the likes of somebody like George Stephanopoulos, who's another idiot leftist himself. So, you know, you need to own your mistakes, because that gun could not have gone off without you pulling the trigger. Could not have happened. So there's too many holes in your story there. It's a bunch of bullshit. Own your mistake. If you're going to do some jail time for involuntary manslaughter, so fucking be it. You can't do the crime. If you can't do the time, don't do the fucking crime. Own your fucking mistakes. You know, own your mistake. Now, will this movie Rust be released? Now, I don't know. Another thing I should have brought up too is if you remember The Crow with Brandon Lee. I mean, there were some lessons that had to have been learned from that disaster there. So, yeah, the guy who played Bo Dukes of Hazard, he's also talking about this very same incident, and he's also basically calling it out for the bullshit that it is. And I can't remember his name right off the bat, but uh, you know, you know what? Now I'm curious. So I'm gonna go to Google here. Yeah. So, oh yeah, John Schneider, who played Bo Duke. There we go. Yeah, go watch some of the videos he's putting out, and he talks about the safety protocol when they're on set making a film and how uh, guns and prop guns and rounds are supposed to be handled, and it's you know what's the word I'm looking for, but. Anyway, I lost my train of thought because I'm very 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 tired. However, there's an actor out there that I've had on Outlaw Radio about 4 years ago by the name of James Lane. He's been in several westerns, and I should have him on Outlaw Radio again to help um, explain these safety procedures and everything like that. And another thing too, a hot gun and a cold gun. I'd have to say, even if the gun has dummy rounds loaded into it, that's still a hot gun. A cold gun is completely empty with absolutely nothing in it. So yeah, if that's the case, they need to change up their terminology and their communication a little bit. Anyway, so that's about it for now. I'll have another video coming up very soon. One more on Mr. Stacy Lawton, because yeah, I am not done exposing that fucking twit, not in the least bit, because the rest of the nation needs to open their eyes to what Nashua, New Hampshire has in their elected office. Once again, my website, outlawradioabs.com. That's Outlaw Radio Alpha Bravo Sierra.com. Check out the programs, go to the store, do some Christmas shopping. Until then, I am out of here. Y'all have a good one.